From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Tuesday, April 29th. Here are today's headlines. The International Court of Justice is hearing a case against Israel this week. Hearings began yesterday with Palestinian representatives making their oral arguments. The case is supported by a UN General Assembly resolution introduced last year by Norway and some other countries. It asked the ICJ to give an opinion on whether Israel, as a signatory to the UN Charter, acted unlawfully in overriding the immunities afforded to the UN body. That opinion, which is non-binding, will come after this week of hearings, but it's expected that it could take months until the court delivers. The National's Sunniva Rose reports.
The hearings in The Hague are particularly timely, considering that on March the 2nd, Israel decided to cut off all supplies to the 2.3 million residents of the Gaza Strip. That's a breach of international law, according to UN and Palestinian representatives who spoke in front of the ICJ judges. Palestinian diplomat Riyad Mansour, who gave the concluding remarks for Palestine, said that Israel purposefully blocks access to aid for Palestinians to entrench, and I quote, its unlawful presence, in addition to dispossessing, destroying and displacing Palestinians.
Experts say even though the decision is not binding, it could profoundly impact international jurisprudence, international aid to Israel, and public opinion. Israel denies deliberately attacking civilians and aid staff and is not participating in the hearings, but its ally, the U.S., will take part tomorrow.
Israel decided to not send representatives to The Hague, but its Foreign Affairs Minister Gideon Saar criticized the hearings in a press conference in Jerusalem. He accused UNRWA of being full of Hamas terrorists and said that the ICJ hearings were part of a concerted effort to deprive Israel of the right to defend itself. We expect a large number of countries to speak at the ICJ in the hearings that will end on Friday. The issue is that Israel has ignored them in the past. They are not legally binding, even though they carry important legal and political weight.
Israel strictly controls all inflows of international aid vital for the 2.4 million Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Lebanon is calling for international pressure on Israel after it struck Beirut for the third time since the ceasefire agreement with Hezbollah took effect. Israel's military struck Beirut's southern suburbs over the weekend. Israel said it had attacked a Hezbollah site where precision missiles were stored, posing a, quote, significant threat. It said it would, quote, not allow Hezbollah to grow stronger and pose any threat to it anywhere in Lebanon, unquote. The National's Jamie Prentice visited an area near the site.
This is the closest that we can film, but I was able to go into the site heavily escorted by minders from Hezbollah.
Here he is with more.
Many people that I've spoken to are questioning why now. Residents I spoke to ask, given how strong Israel's intelligence capabilities are, why was the building attacked now and not during the war, like much of the area was? As a result, many in Beirut see this attack as being part of an Israeli tactic to up the pressure on the Lebanese government to further diminish the strength of Hezbollah.
Beirut's southern suburbs are a densely populated residential neighborhood that were devastated by Israel's war on Lebanon last year. Under the ceasefire, Israeli forces were supposed to withdraw from all Lebanese territory by late January, but the Israeli military maintains 5 positions in Lebanon. Hezbollah was to end its armed presence in the south of Lebanon along the border with Israel.
The Lebanese government, for its part, is urging the international sponsors of the ceasefire, such as the US and France, to pressure Israel to stop its attacks. It has long said that while Lebanon and Hezbollah have abided by their part of the agreement, Israel has failed to do so. Lebanon is under pressure from many in the international community to disarm Hezbollah, which is an incredibly sensitive and complicated issue. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has said that he hopes to be able to bring all arms in Lebanon under state control by the end of the year, but has insisted this must be done diplomatically. It's also important to mention that whilst this is only the third time that Beirut has been attacked since the ceasefire, South Lebanon is attacked on a daily basis, and Israel continues to occupy 5 points of Lebanese territory. It's led to many in Lebanon asking, what ceasefire?
Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara has rejected a Kurdish call for federalism in a post-Assad government. Kurdish political groups had agreed during a meeting in the Kurdish-controlled city of Qamishli that their vision for the future of the Kurds in the country entailed a, quote, decentralized democratic state. Shara said that posed a threat to national unity and contradicted an agreement struck last month between the two sides. Here's the National's Aveen Karim with more.
This comes a day after a Kurdish unity conference was held in Qamishli between the different Kurdish political groups in Syria, where they announced their common political vision for a decentralized democratic state. Al-Shara said that such a federalism or something like this would go against national unity in Syria and that it wouldn't be able to be done without a national consensus.
2 weeks ago, on the sidelines of the Soleimani Forum, Ahmad, co-chairman of foreign affairs for the SDF's political wing, the Syrian Democratic Council, told the National that the priority for Kurds in Syria was federalism and ensuring their rights are provided in the new political framework.
So there's a lot of concern among minority groups in general, not just among Kurds, that the current constitution is not as inclusive as Ahmad al-Shara had said it would be initially. So the Kurdish argument is that federalism would not be applied only to northeast Syria, where there is Kurdish control. They envision it as a model that could be used for the rest of Syria. And this is something that Ahmad told me 2 weeks ago when we were at the Soleimani Forum. She really insisted on this point of federalism and said that Kurdish groups would push for this, despite the opposition that they had already anticipated would come from al-Shara. And they said that this is something that they envision for different parts of Syria, whether it's Daraa, Suwaida, in coastal areas, so not just for northeast Syria. And she was saying that in their view, this would be the best way to prevent any future conflict.
Kurds in Syria are among minority groups who have voiced concern over the centralization of power in Syria and the adoption of Islamic jurisprudence. Al-Shara has vowed to form an inclusive transitional government. He'd signed a 53-article interim constitution in March, but minority communities have criticized it for reinforcing religious exclusion. It keeps Syria's name as the Syrian Arab Republic, makes Arabic the sole official language, and enforces Sharia. It also requires that the president be Muslim. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.